Professor Charles, I think at the worgi Mr. President, mondo wa mia a proper session network. Iwogi jo nikech gik miwacho gi samoro kwa pare kama koro wagolo constituency development fund to wamiyo watero maybe kamoro ka Embu University. Manyiso ni kumusa endelea poti mango ema pod endelea. Gimoro bi wacho kama ber ang'o miyo chon ne kata jomo somo e skunde makawaida kaka Dr. Evans Kidero kaka Churchill no gin skunde moko kier madongo matiwa dwaro nie to gi succeed tu ang'o miyo tinde wacho ni skunde gi omiyo ok succeed. Koro I have a lot to say but I will not say it. Koro kapokwa do a small video here. We are preparing for a small video. Adani mondo jomobiro bank no introduction ochumalo onyiswa nyingi inyisowa nyingi then wacho ni bende nyalo nyisowa nickname mari ka in godo kasto wachako. Koro nyalo mana project your voice.
Thank you very much. I'm George Ochenge, coming from Rongo Ministry of Education Office, representing Mr. Duncan Odhiambo, the director.
Amoso uno ya ureuru. Yes, my name is Florence Akotolo. I'm principal KMTC Homa Bay, Jirani. And I'm here representing the Chief Executive Officer for Training College, Mr. Kelly Watch. Give them an opportunity in begging his way.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Pleasure. My name is Bruce Olindi. I'm the principal of KMTC Ndiwa. Thank you for the great opportunity. Thank you.
I'm Mosa Ute. Kwa majina anaitwa Leonard Ayora, principal Rachonyo.
Moso Budo Unte. And Iluongani Dr. Nelson Ubangi from Maseno University, School of Business, Department of Economics. Thank you. I'll be one of the facilitators today. Thank you.
Amoso Ute. Representing Kenya Women Teachers Association, Kewata.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Geoffrey Oguma. That is Nyando Sub-County. I work with Radio Namlolwe. Actually, I cover both Say and Kisumu.
Okay, good morning, everyone. I'm a Hoi in one of the schools in Homa Bay town. That is Akele. Then apart from that, I'm representing NAT, Homa Bay.
Mwalimu kapokewe microphone. Ngine sasa njoko step na milongoni Wilfred Lungo ni Hoi. Hoi na ngo. One samoro wako just.
Hoi means head of institution.
Head of institution.
We used to call them head teachers.
Okay.
But we have upgraded.
Okay. Okay. We have a small keynote address from Professor Charles Ongondo, who is the CEO of the Kenya Institute of Curriculum Development. After this very short video, we'll brought a break and then we come back mondo wachak koro twak ma proper wan gi expert mabro konyowa ng'eyo weche gi kendo gi gano gi. So video.
Okay, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I'm extremely excited to join you at this second edition of the TWAC Forum, although from what they call a safe distance. I really wish I could be there personally. To go straight to the point, I want to congratulate the organizers on choosing a theme around the matter of education, and especially focusing on transforming education leadership for modern economic transmission. That's an extremely critical point, and it touches me directly because I am one of your sons that you have sent to Nairobi to conceptualize what our learners at basic education should learn. And definitely when we talk about what our learners should do in school, we are thinking about economic participation. But let me narrow down to a few of the points that I've seen raised in the concept so that hopefully I can add value to this conversation. The first matter is the matter of what are the exam results in the 4 counties of what we could call Luo Nyanza. And the people who drafted this concept have narrowed down to what are our percentages in terms of C+ and above. And that's where I want to start from, colleagues. I want to really and above, but I also want to celebrate those who could even have got D+ and to why I celebrate them as well. Let me start with the C+. And because this forum is about adding value, I want to say 2 critical things. The first one is that we shall need a very, very vibrant counseling to these children of. And if one of the outcomes of this forum could be a small team that could go around our sub-counties and get to talk to these children in terms of their career choices, that will be extremely. Where I work now, I was a university lecturer for 16 years. Indeed, I'm still staff of Moi University. And I know wrong choice of a course our children into one, programs they may not be interested in, but more relevant to what we are doing now, programs that have no immediate I'll give you an example of a nephew of mine, CSE. So I asked this guy, what do you want to do? And he tells me, you know, I want to go and do a bachelor's in intelligence analysis after passing. And he doesn't really know. So some of these children of ours choose programs because they sound good. The names sound sweet. In fact, as one of my professors say, the names sound sexy, but they don't know what to do with them. So one of the things I underscore, colleagues, the need for vibrant career guidance in terms of what university choices they should make. To the extent that we should be courageous enough to advise even some of our C+ and above candidates to choose certain TVET courses that they may want to do, but which could also lead to probably more of economic progress of the region, in addition to giving these people more jobs earlier on. But let me go back to what I consider even more critical for the community in terms of C+ and above. Colleagues, what are our children going to do? How many of them qualify to and will be admitted to do medicine? How many of them will qualify to do and will be admitted in engineering programs? How many of them qualify and will be admitted in law, in journalism, will be admitted even in nursing, will be admitted for pharmacy, for dentistry? Let me bring it even down to something that we probably don't think about. How many of them will qualify to be teachers of science? How many of them will qualify to be teachers of physics, for example? Now, let me go back to why I'm mentioning these things. Our community will need its, so that you are not just relying in the context of county government on doctors who come from outside our community, who come from outside our countries. So that analysis needs to be done, and we can get a team from us here to analyze how many of our children will qualify for those programs. So I'm talking about doctors we shall need engineers, we shall need journalists who will carry our story. What we suffer from is that we don't have people who will carry our narratives. And that's one of the reasons I really celebrate the Twerk Forum. Mar fwambo gi keyo mwanyalo dhi pando kamoro chuny mufangano to wakone gi nomera magi weche matut modwa ni mondo jothurwa owinji. How many of our children to go back and teach those places, things where they are? So that is the second main outcome I pray should be come out of this conversation. The other matter, colleagues, is the matter of still related results, and which I've picked from the concept, the matter of leadership. And that also brings me to celebrate the issue of practical approaches to education leadership. Practical approaches. The matter of accountability of the people we have given the opportunity to lead our schools. I travel in many schools in this country, including a number of our schools in our region, in our communities. And as a teacher, before I went to university, a school teacher, and a teacher who taught outside Luo land, for that matter, I see a lack of deliberate, vibrant, rigorous effort to hold our school leaders to account. We stand aside until there is damage. In my own village of Kochia, and if there are people from Kochia here, know, in our walls, after the 2023 results of KCSE, we had a lot of our people talk about why should we not chase away this head teacher, they have made our results poor, both primary and secondary school results. But I told people, look, we stood aside, we let these people do what they were supposed to do. And now that the results are poor, we come out now to start asking why the results are poor and saying we should chase them away. It does not matter how many people we chase away. We'll bring step into those schools, and through the legal structures demand accountability. We will not make progress. If I may just give you some hint from the competency-based curriculum, one of the reasons we have reformed the curriculum is to provide a more vigorous opportunity for parents to get involved in what the children are doing through what we call parental engagement and empowerment. And of course, when CBC was starting, this was made a joke. People talked about teachers asking for chicken, teachers asking for eggs, and so on. But let me just hinge on that. When teachers ask for chicken, why don't you go to the school and ask the teachers, what do you want to do with this chicken? How many of the pieces do you want? If that is true that they ask for it. But the bigger point is, get us go to school as leaders and get involved in what is happening. How are our children being prepared? How are our children being nurtured even for the exams? From where I sit, I have the courage to face us colleagues and tell us that one of the things that we have a problem with currently is the amount of involvement. Yes, we have evidence, I can produce it out of camera, of people who hide teachers somewhere to do exams for children. And we have instances where we have had. I sit on the board of the Kenya National Examinations Council, and I can tell you it is painful when I see 5 of our schools, I think we have called results cancelled. In one school, 15 results of 15 children are cancelled. And these ones are not even being said. In fact, I saw in the facts that some of us know. This is the kind of accountability we need. Why don't we go to this fellow and tell him, my friend, we know that you are involved in perpetrating cheating. What can we do? Children with D+ and below. And maybe that's the last point I want to pick up. Back to these children and think about what is it they can do. And I have seen in this concept that we are talking about training institutions, so that we don't just have a child graduating to Riambo Pikipiki, Gongware. Can we start encouraging our children and child who has finished school walking around or driving a pikipiki, you took it upon yourself to ask, wudungane to baradikuri pikone wanyalo konyinade. And I am happy to celebrate. I've heard that the MP for Nyatike has deliberately sent over 100 children to TVET every year and supported them. This is where we can also have a conversation with our MPs through the CDF and say, how many of our children have we sent to do plumbing at craft, at artisan level? How many of our children have we sent to do building and construction? How many of our children have we sent to do print? In this institute that I lead now, I can tell you there are certain occupations where I'm literally looking for people and you can't find them. I can't find people in print, for example. I can't find enough people to employ in registry, in the library work, in studio operations. So we need to advise our children on what of these programs they can go and take at TVET, so that then we are able to map them to the career options nationally and internationally. Allow me to conclude, colleagues, so that I don't make this very long, by talking about three things. One, can we harness the forum we have through TWAC to bring ourselves as leaders together, those of us in government, those of us in county government, and those of us even in the NGO, and those of us, of course, in journalism, to look at ourselves in the mirror, try to discover where we went wrong, and address our challenges so that we don't sit and look at them. Number two, can we think about the deliberate nurturing of a leadership that will hold our school leaders and leaders of other institutions accountable? Number three, let me finish this conversation with my pet topic. Each one of us here, when we leave this institution, can you deliberately take a walk to the school near your home and think about whatever contribution you can make? I can tell you, because I work for government, that I know the government does so much. Yes, the government employs teachers, the government supplies books, the government pays examination fees. The government is building construction, is constructing classrooms. But we know they are not enough. Instead of sitting here and saying what the government is not doing, jothurwa, being'eyo kata ka school me bath dala ni nigi cho, meini wuon inyalo tiyogo. Kapo ni school me bath dala u, kata me gweng'u, ne ok ogere class ma grade 9, watim ang'o about it? Be nitie kata mana od mabati moro mwasegundho mondo watim go gimoro. Ka jopuonj onge e skundno, be wase kata mana dhi kanyo ni wang'e ni sirikal temo ndiko jopuonj, to mage nyithindwa mane grade 9 gi, kik nyithindo gi tie grade 9 ka gionge japuonj science, kik tim grade 9 ka gionge japuonj business studies, mondo wane ane what we do. Kata kochipo ni wamiyo japuonj me bath school machielo gimoro mondo kony machielo no, the school me bath dalani, because this is where it starts. Your presence there alone will mentor a lot of those children. When I see, the list of the people who are going to be in this forum, your presence alone and an opportunity to talk to these children for 5 minutes will be a big motivator to both the children and the parents and even the teachers. So I stop it here, colleagues, and I wish as well. I hope we shall have more seasons and sessions to talk to our people, but this is a good starting point. We must take a deliberate effort to try to start linking our education and performance thereof to the economic transformation of our community. Asanteni sana, erokamano. Okay, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I'm extremely excited to...
Mr. Charles Yawa. A big round of applause. I personally feel like do a bit of time maintain mondo respond to some of these issues. Lakini kech sara cha enya, adani mondo wadhi break wa matcha then waduogi. So I hope ni indiko notes. Ni kech at the end of the day adani mondo wabedo work the points ka. Gima professor wacho ma very important. The reason mami aluongo Madam Rose ni kech na dhi a school. School mono school mantie bath dalawa milongo ni St. Charles Luanga Nyamkebe. It's a day school, secondary school. To kana dhi kanyo to nwabedo piny maneno some of those issues. Kuna wacho ni I'll just be intentionally engaging them kamanyalo kamora mora. Koro that's a very good point. Koro when you're going for the break, I don't know do come on owacha ne what are we doing in our communities? Mondo kik mabed ni bende wasomo from the book of Lamentations. Koro nego chak somewhere from the book of Solutions. Lamentations what the solutions. Koro let's go for our tea break. The tea is served right here. Bateka will just take 15 minutes. Wanya kata kao chai waduogo de room ka mondo waendelea because we want to cover much ground to sabendera chainya.
in terms of their career choices.
to wan gi issue mar effect of 100% transition machando the performance mar jok ma Professor Ngondo gini dwaro mondo the universities gi. So you realize that we cannot talk about when the rain started beating us, because already we have been rained on. But akia kata anyalo wacho marach, but still ni sirikal chamo joggi. Nikech samose wach na nyathi gi janyuol ni 100% transition. An apuonjo a mixed day school, apuonjo wi obiero, sani kora apuonjo ogande mixed. Nyathi man kanyo en ja 150, 120, and chopa point teka ni nyathi niko penj mar class 8 ene secondary. Idwaro results masani kanwa analyze results mar form 4, waneno ni ntiere nyithindo majoluo moyudo E, to oyudo E nade, and somebody wants delivery. Aparo ni samang wang'iyo analysis gi, mostly at schools waketoga entry points, odonjo gi marks adi, oyudo adi kowuok. Mano bende kaka jotwak wanyalo consider. Owacho kendo ni we should look at the courses and the units manyithindo ge timo. But I think he got me out there talking about the quagmire maja puonj ni go at the moment. Nike manotimo KCSE 844 system bedo run out, but wange quagmire mar CBC mapod biro kai. I was just saying we have to twerk more, because as I stand here, I am a high school teacher. Though I am pursuing my 3rd degree, but adi puonjo nyathi ma next year donjo a grade 10. Samo donjo no, an kaka chunka, pok adhi a training mora mar CBC. And I want to believe, and many others, mapoko timore. Koro partly, jokopet ni kacha. Partly, jonat biane no kanika. Waka obaden, wakete ewiwa. To the real thing, eni pio duore gi malo, kendo gi morok ber. Mogik, wan kaka joluo, wan matek, kendo wan marach. Waiye, wadagi, wan marginalized. Gimona mwana motuch ni koro joluo ema dwa time, kata dwa wache, kata dwa excel. Waiye uru wadagi, inyonowa. Ka ung'iyo results kata samitimo penjiriane ni to luo land ka kende ema nyaka jonek donjo nyaka class. Mama nyathi penjo mati ndiko gi pencil nango ruch gini koso ang'o matimore. So we need to enlighten each other, and above all kako keto twakni anadwa kwayo ni twage uru gi jonyuol mondo janyuol ong'e ni sirikal okonyuol. Sirikal onyuolo jite, to janyuol onyuolo nyathine. Koro samo tena 100% transition, kata yudo mana E, ibro dhi kamoro, bege dhi kamoro. Discipline begins at home. Wan wapuonjo nyithinde primary magoji, okweri. Awinjo ka visika ne wuoyo wach discipline. Be wan kod gi school, to kosadwa yudo result ne kanye. Erokamano.
A round of applause for Dalene. Okay. There is this form. BC sign form. Nekapuki sign. I'll give it to Frida, who will walk around. Please sign it. My former the ensure ni wa kodi maberki woka mondo kiwoka ka ichwanyori. All right. Yeah. Anybody else? Mapoko respond. Okay. So I go to then yeah. Remember, just tell us your name and then cast me your feedback, Mari.
Thank you so much. I'll repeat my name. I'd introduced myself. Iluongani Ezekiel Olo Konya, the Didong student, Kisumu National Polytechnic, here to represent my chief principal, Madam Catherine Kilonyi. I want to react on what Professor Ochola gave out, the VC of this university. he gave us very powerful eye-opener. One area that personally I'm coming out here knowledge in is one that we must look on our resources. We have our universities. What are we doing? What value addition can we inject into this our universities? Like we have our own son. He has all these dreams very clearly. Are we there actually to give this place to be ambassadors to help him achieve? Because he cannot achieve this as a person. I was telling one of my relatives, a friend who had just met for the first time.
It's fine.
I was telling him that when I took my son, something happened. Somebody asked me, having a job that thing again I wanted to say, me, I come from peak. I know some people will start now. Start at I'm an engineer, and I'm the dean of students. I remember going for the certificate. I remember going for diploma. I remember going for I want to welcome you to Tveta family. One thing, I'm not stepping this family. This region only knew that after completing school, the only college which of course if you attend, then it will be a teaching. But I want to tell you that our pupils, our gone for Tveta discipline, they come out very good and they come out with great value. I'm even seeing some of my students here. Like this one seated was one of my students and a student leader. Today, even if I tell him after when we shall be leaving here that I need transport back to Kisumu. And this one also seated here was also a student leader. They will foot my bill because I know she did civil engineering, and this one also did civil engineering, and they all passed. So I'm only saying, it's not frustrate those when they get like given class. Have some of them, I have them in the staff. They have masters in civil engineering, in mechanical engineering. That does not stop them from going further. Like I said, Onguka is also my colleague. I've worked with him for long. And he's at Mawego National Polytechnic. We feel pain in our hearts. Gimamoro ye wa NHL. Nyitendo gi will be there to say, Kugi kitadia, te yudoni ha, class mari nyitendo pirario gabich, yuluose chemokuniti nyitenda di, adek, to jakisi, te yudo, ka nyitendo mubiro kanyo, mane class no kende, nyithinda buru. To gimaleti na moloyo, mamano professor wacho. Jakisi mabiro kineno parent mobiro gidene nyathi to dhi chulo fees. tiyudo ni oa Kisii obiro neno nyathino obiro wuoyo go. Sama wuoyo to wuoyo go gi dhogi. Kae tiyudo ni ya utero pesa mochulo siling 100 ni mane mochulo fees. Kato nyathini yudo ni at the end of it oonge gi balance. Osomo maber motimore nade motieko. Kineno ng'at machulo fees matieki, seche moko inyalo kata mana paro to ng'ani okwalo. Omiyo uru gi jonyuol mondo jonyuol understand their priorities. Kok wakawo somo mwachoro mbele ma ng'ato ka ng'ato winjo gima somo en, to ahinya nyithindwa to kuma biro dhiye maboro timore nade onge. Koro an gima ng'eyo mando koro bende adwa mondo akia ni koro kanyere mada challenge professor. Joluo wach ni gionge pesa. Joluo onge mana gi pesa koro ka somo. Wach ni gionge ga ng'o gi pesa. To dhi yude kama ji methi. Jaluo ema ng'iewone nyaka ng'amo kia. En ema ng'iewone gi ang'owa kama koro idwa nyisruoke ni pesa nitie. To kanyo ero kuponu wabedo rigged out. To wanyama bedo namba di. Namba 2 to kwa yudo position wa rightfully to wana namba 1. Aparo ni kuponi koro wabedo ka gik monego wawachi. How can we build our institutions? Ana awacho kawuono amor gi misemo wacho dani an nyathina notimo penj. Kok odwaro nyisa sani ok adwa ule. Kok odwaro biro university mene modwaro. Nikech waseneno gik matimore. An ba wacho niya, an gi nyathi bindi manotimo mok nyathina machiel madhi sponsor. Kotimo revision mondo kawe to biro kanye. Obiro tombuya. Because I'm not knowing Professor Chola today. Ang'e kaka wuodo thoro, ang'e even from where it's coming from. Koro jodala wa gimwatimuru, wageru uru institutions magwa machalo Mawego, machalo Kisumu Polytechnic, and any other institution. Amor Nyasaye madigwedhu nyingruoth Yesu.
I have a question. Yeah, before you proceed.
Madam Rose had lifted her hand, so less than a minute, please.
Yes, thank you so much. My name is Madam Rose Ogam. I was really thrilled by Professor's talk. I came to discover that Luos have the gene of intelligence, and that is true. From time immemorial, if you wanted an architect, people would look for Luos. If you wanted a doctor, wanted a teacher, you teachers with passion, his work with a lot of passion. And the outcome of the work done by a Luo is perfect. If you look at other tribes, Luos, therefore, we have the genome development. It is unfortunate that earlier on we were marginal. This is the time we are seeing universities in our sub-counties. We used to run for universities out there. I would like this forum to mobilize students to come and join, because this is just first class. This university building, I've never been there, I've never been here, but when I saw the university from the gate, I just saw something very different from the university I learned in, which was Moi University, that is now deteriorating. His prudent management of funds. Professor, I would like you to even join the county management, the fund, that fund, docket of funds, because in our schools, there is a lot of mismanagement of funds. It is true, you said, Professor Ngondo talked about it. And this directly goes to maybe CDF funds. You've been given a project in CDF. The project costs 4 million. And if you look at the work that has been done by 4 million, you can never imagine this work can hold 4 million. So as we are talking, it is good that we go to the ground and see where the rain started raining on us. More so, issues to do with the funds that the little that we've been given from the government, and more so on the CDF funds. There is a lot of problem at the CDF funds. Finally, Professor, do you offer courses for students who scored D+ and below?
A round of applause to Heart for Dalini. Okay.
Thank you very much. First, I just wanted to ask a question first before I make my comments.
Okay, less than a minute.
When we were invited here,
okay,
we were also shown the thematic areas.
Yeah.
And some of us prepared just small notes to share.
Okay.
So I don't know whether this is a time, according to your agenda.
No.
We are just responding to the first two presentations.
Yes.
Now, my observation, one, as the speaker said initially, my name is Agrippa, Registrar Mawego. A prof called me Oluoch. That is a rare name that I use, only used by people who know me very well. I knew Prof in 1986. Some of the people we taught here were not born then. So what I wanted to say about Tom Mboya and Mawego is that we have a working relationship. We even have an MOU. And in the areas where he said that they are going to start training on, especially in engineering, we are collaborating. They are also training people from Somali in technical, and we are partnering with Mawego, and Tom Mboya. All of us have to say what they have about, what they feel about the speech Prof said. You will take the next session, all of it, responding to just that. Thank you.
Allow me to slightly amend the plenary kidogo, that there are presentations that need to be made here. Once we make the presentation, then we can do cumulative plenary. Do you have the permission for that? So that we keep time. So we respond comprehensively to those things. And of course, now my absolute pleasure, right, Mr. Bondo, who will take us through this session. But before that, just give us a minute so that we can get the receiver inside the room so that we don't have this microphone issue, because we are live streaming. We don't want to have this problem. Mr. Bondo, you can prepare. Fix the microphone.
You can start showing. Okay, Verokamano Danish. Apa. I think it is good we hear. Yeah, so I'll ask if we can show the first on the first one from Andiwo. If you can show. I don't know whether you are able to the presentations. And then after that, I'll be very quick because mine sets the pace, and then Mr. Yako will come in very quickly, and we can stop to ask any questions, and then we can be able to go to the other two remaining panelists. But there are two things that I want to emphasize from the earlier presentations. One is Mwalimu's story. I remember, I think, Benta, you remember the late Professor Okoto Kombo. We were taught together by the same professors. Okoto Kombo used to come from, I think, Beta. Yeah, he had a similar, very powerful story. He used to tell us as freshers. He started as a P1, did another certificate, qualified for a diploma, went for a degree, went for a master's, went for a PhD, and by the time he was teaching us, he was a full professor of linguistics and was running so many programs. I think I actually like him this story from Mwalimu Ka, Gimaro Kotoko. Ni we can encourage Nitewa. Ni marks Manathion Wangono, clickbait a discouragement. Mondo miwayud kaka Nitindo Katamoko the university direct. They can join these other programs and then they proceed. We'll ask Professor to answer the question you raised. Do we have such similar programs? Kataka Giongego, to Gide Mawego, Gide Kisumu, Gide Siaya, and the other technicals. I think what we want to
As you're fixing the projector, one giwelo modonjo manyaka wa introduce. Kro abro chako ge attendees moko kapoka biro kum moko. If you not told us your name, where you come from.
My name is Bani Sodek. I'm from Kisumu.
Where in Kisumu?
I'm from Kisumu National Polytechnic.
Kisumu National Polytechnic. Okay. Who else had not introduced themselves here? All right. Yeah.
Hello, everyone. I'm Alvin Onyango, a former Secretary General, Kisumu National Polytechnic.
Kisumu National Polytechnic. Sawa basi. All right. So, of course, our SG, I have to introduce you now. Yeah, SG.
Good morning. Just 1 minute to afternoon. So my name is Eric Oduor. I'm Secretary General of Kenya Union of Journalists and one of the organizers of this forum.
Lakini nyisa ni ibido ker mar Eastern Africa mangima. Kubi nyisa joluoge ya wako so. Nyisa.
Oh, okay. Oh, Odongo is talking about my other CAPA, which is the President of Federation of Eastern Africa Journalists, covering 13 countries in Eastern Africa. Yeah.
Sasawa. Rosie.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Rosaline Obala, a journalist. I come from Uyoma Katwenga, UK, Rarieda constituency, Siaya County. So I'm a member of the TWAC team.
Thank you so much. A round of applause to them. Technology challenges. Just give us a few minutes. I think we'll be ready to go.
I think maybe Churchill and colleagues, there is something most Professor Woyo. Tapenjirani to wan wanyalo timango as professionals maluo Nyanza. Wan gi Kanyadodi, we are convening Lolwe Professionals Caucus. Ta feel ni wadwa offer mondo wakony into a premier institution makoro kata other universities in the region nyalo learn from. And I think that is something that I would wish Nikwanwango to all the three of us what discuss the prof. How can we support this kind of effort? Mondo tomboyo be de Oxford Manyanza. Makoro kataka rongo gire niki chandwok moro so they benchmark and learn from here. Jo Bondawaka biroka. Jo Maseno biroka. Thank you. I think I'm going to be very quickly because I appreciate the fact that one of my panelists has to run away because of the emergency. What do I mean? Just a brief picture. Mondo ni kama wantie okber. Wakawa the example of KCSE exams for 2025 last year.
to gimi winjo kwa wacho kani kata ma professor yuago cha is very real. Ni apparently I'll just go ahead and use what I have. Well, I think the organizers will send this presentation. So I don't have to, we will share this presentation. I don't have to go word by word, but let me see if there's anything. That is just, I think, what we are talking about, what we are covering. But Kamadwan Munda Ange, we have 3 panelists. We have KCSE performance and career preparation. Mrs. Sayako, who is a practicing teacher and will talk about that. We have another topic on college placement strategies. Kanya Dode, who is a registrar at the Technical University of Kenya, will talk about that from his experience. Economic trends and the world of work. Dr. Bange from Maseno University. They will introduce themselves properly. Now, County Education Report Card, very briefly. And we are basing this on the analysis of 2025. Or Kwade Mabora Enya. If we have time and space, we will do that. Look at Homa Bay where we are. Oh, sorry, I was told that I need to, I'm fine here. Oh, okay. Yes, Homa Bay recorded the highest percentage of students eligible for university admission. Can we clap for Homa Bay? Nyithindo manodo ja university madhi donjo igani. Homa Bay mancho yombowa. Namba. Uchakolala. Then they give 46.6% of 32 plus, 15,000 plus made it to the university. Direct entry, C plus and above. Index, you can see there 6.7. 24%, that is 7,998 of below. So there are 3 points to note here. One, Samanya Thinda Lufaparga Beach Day University. Nyaka Homa Bay find Kumadi 27,000. The university. The other question might be coming up. Nijo Modia University ka gede so mango. That many gima Professor London waka. Niye niki courses, to courses mayan ko kone kabeyo. Courses mabeyo near universities mamoko. How do we help this university to get those good courses? Then the other point, near as a region, our best at below 50%. Homa Bay is our best. To end below 50%. Mono is food for thought as stakeholders. Nima was celebrate Homa Bay as the best. To end below 50%, which means we are not compete with Kenya Mamoko. As a region, we can't compete with the rest of Kenya. While I think a benchmark kodwa. When Kenya nibiru benchmark ningi yonejo mandate mo architecture Luo Nyanza. Medicine, Luo Nyanza. Law, Luo Nyanza. Sani koro kwanyal compete. It's something manyaka wangi very keenly. Then Migori, follow Homa Bay 35%. Homa Bay 46, Migori till 35 point. 9,000 out of 26. Tinda lofo chiko kende MOU do direct. Enter lofo chiko gimi yang wen giwi. Then Kuria East, Ginya Tike, performance are the lowest in Migori. D plus and below. The same question. Nyithindogi ji alofo chiko madhi university ka ya university mane. The principal ma professor encourage kacha, which is very good. Nikech ka nyathi osomo Tomboya ka to Homa Bay County kata onyalo dak machiegni gi this town, to ne watimo ga analysis gi kanyaro ni gi students ge motimo ga to osemiya kwano moro ni somo from home ma professor encourage cuts the cost of education by 50%. Yeah. Koro wadwa timo gik moko ariyo. Wa encourage nyithindogi mondo bi Tomboya, but onego gibi ginwang' ka courses magidwaro ka ni Tomboya ka. And the facilities magilaw Machakos kata Nairobi kata that is the challenge as a region. Hapa natieko gi Migori, just a snapshot. Kisumu namba dek. Number 35%. Number dek is 28%. Mag joma notimo penj Kisumu madhi university. You don't know that big difference. Yellow Fabirio can direct in Kisumu. Nyakach, I think, was the best. Nyakach. Gitimo maber, tok bera henya. Actually, they are the best among the worst. Yeah, they could be the best, but the best among? Yes. Koro students most score 46%. Goyane urukwano ni. The same questions mwa penjire. Nyithindo madhika. Jo di C plus and below gi watero kanye. And then how kataka gede Kisumu Polytechnic, gede Maseno, they find the courses magidwaro. Siaya. Jo siaya chwa unka. Wane namba ngwen joturwa. Unka. Ato guru dala wangi what is happening? Siaya akudi maber. Jo siaya ne one watero mana 16%. Jo mokadho siaya out of number no. Out of 28. Number what ingen duong mulo kata joma notimo penj Kisumu. There's a problem in siaya. Madaher ne ang jogo yenwa wako empa kaka jo siaya. Bang. You see, Ugunja is the best in Siaya, but as I said, the best among the and then 14% scored D plus and below. Siaya, I need to check. We didn't get this in the other counties, but Siaya on 175 is a big problem. Kupet nika ebro convenwa. Siaya at this but 2-3 cases modongi penj modongi kawakta ni mwatero ji alufu ang'wen kata alufu achiel bro tam mwatero in the next. So that is the biggest question ma Siaya. Koro implications. There is what we call ECD primary high school nexus. Nyithinda mad ni 100 grades madwaro. Are there problems before? Nitie shida ECD kata primary. Manyithindo gi chope secondary kata moro moko se give up kata moko koro konyre. Then now, are our high schools not performing optimally? Benta will answer part of this. We'll want to hear you out on that. Then lastly, universities and TVET. With this performance, are we out of the national competition for prestigious programs? I think we are. Can you compete for medicine? Or compete for law? Unless Nisa Moridwa you get through parallel. But direct cut-off for Ingoa. Kuro law gi medicine gi STEM wawene jowa mamoko ka. Wan kuro wabiro timo social work Tomboya ka. koe mano to community development Maseno. Then koro sama kori laro ni jo Kenya ndike tije madongo dongo. In the next 10 years, tuwaonge completely. Apparently, Mano is my last. I'll ask, yes, that is the last, thank you. I'll ask Benta to come. If the bigger system is not working, we can actually bring her presentation here. We'll have Madam Benta very quickly. Then we can have me. I'm still around, so you can you can have a few questions for her before she runs back to school to deal with the emergency. So minimum 5 minutes, Benta. Maximum 10.
Thank you. I'd like to introduce myself before my presentation. My name is Benta Ayako. I'm born around here, born in Kanyada, Homa Bay, hapa tu junction ndipo kwetu. And agwero kamano ne university ni mar Tom Mboya kuom yaonwa wang jodalawa ma Homa Bay, ma South Nyanza, ma joluo mondo wange ne wan be kara wanyalo yudo university education machiegni kodwa. I want to give an example of myself. By the time I was in the University of Nairobi, in our entire location, I was the only girl. And I can remember a time when we went on strike, Mr. Obondo ndalomane wagolu enje dialogue cha. Today I wonder what we were fighting for. Dialogue. And dialogue and chapati. So we were fighting for chapati and we were home for a whole 6 months. When we came home, we were reporting to the chief every Wednesday. I was the only girl, and we were 15 in the entire location. So there were 14 boys and 1 girl. And the chief of Bwana, may his soul rest in peace, he would tell me, "Nyathi omera, ine nyako kende mwanene gwenka, indoga doga dala." The men ne payondere, they would dig the mitaro Bunde all the way to Daraja Arujo, but as the I had 2 labels. The few elites saw some future in me, but the majority saw Nyako Modiwo. At 19 years, you are not married. I mean, what's wrong with you? But I thank this university because today, my people know that even girls can go to the university and it is important for them to do so. About we've just been talking about why our students are not doing well and what we can do to make sure that our students pass and go to university. But the question I want to ask, I want us to ask ourselves is that despite the statistics that you have given us here, I've been very apprehensive as I sat there and I was asking myself, as a principal, being in the education sector, in the secondary school education, I'm asking myself, Homa Bay is the leading, Siaya comes last. Does it mean that Homa Bay has better exam thieves than Siaya? Because the truth be said, the results and even the statistics that we are exposing here is not the true picture of our children. We have to accept that we are in a country where shortcuts are embraced. And unfortunately, these shortcuts, I have not yet started my presentation, so I hope you're not timing me. These shortcuts are working against us. We have all these children from the statistics whom we are sending to the university. What is the completion rate? Fine, they have gone to the university. Do they finish? When they do finish, do they come out and serve us? You'll find that quite a big number of them do not finish the university because we know how they got there. Unfortunate. To my presentation, I was telling you I'm Ben Tayako, Chief Principal Moi Nyabohanse, born in Homa Bay, Canada. If I had gone to school around those days, maybe I could not be where I am. I went to school in Western, in Mumias Complex Primary, to Lugulu Girls High School, Nairobi University, where we were. He can confirm that I went to school. I took my master's degree in KU, Kenyatta University. Currently, I'm pursuing my PhD at Kisii University in Education Administration. I am the principal at Moi Nyabohanse. We ask ourselves, secondary school education and how we can make our children proceed to high school and get the best courses possible. Why secondary school education? And we say that secondary school is the bridge between primary school and higher learning at tertiary level education. Secondary school education is supposed to equip our students with basic skills and knowledge to enable them pursue their career at the tertiary institution. Now, secondary school, one, promotes social development. It changes the child from the child we have in the village, wherever in the estates in town, to a more acceptable member of the society, more enlightened, so that she can be and of good age, so that they can proceed to tertiary education. As I told you, secondary school also delays marriage. It makes the children get to school up to a time they are 19 years old. The 19-year-old is an adult. Therefore, it prepares them for adulthood so that they don't get married in childhood. It influences placement in university TVETs. Just as we have already been told, whatever grades they get at secondary school enables them to go to university and to proceed to the TVETs. Just as the speakers before me have mentioned, high school does not, secondary school rather, does not just give the children the opportunity. So I was saying the school education students to go the TVETs where they go to other. As somebody said before me, even after those certificate and diploma studies, our children can still get to be to the points of education that we expect of them.
They are recording, so use this.
So after tertiary education, we should also consider the TVETs because they are and others after some time, though it will take longer. Now, some factors affecting academic performance. One is student-related factors. Students have to be motivated so that they can do well. Their study habits have to be honest. Peer pressure is something that we cannot ignore. Students come to school very good, but later on they don't do well in school, and we ask ourselves why. Possibly they got friends that derailed their vision, and therefore they could not do well. Cognitive ability is also a factor related to student factors. Family-related factors, parental level of education. Parents who've gone to school well will bring up children who will do well in school and therefore proceed. And also the same parents will be able to advise their children on what courses to take at the university and how to get there. Socioeconomic status of the family and family support. We also have factors like nutrition coming in there. We ask ourselves if our Luo people would manage to go for those good courses in the past. Why not now? In the past, our grandmothers and mothers gave us the boiled fish, fresh fish boiled. You'd get all the omega-3 in it. Now we deep fry the fish, destroy all the omega-3. Even if our children eat it, they cannot be of high IQ. How to improve academic performance? Teacher-learner interaction, active learning, regular revision, past paper practice, encourage learners to seek help, student-centered learning as opposed to teacher-centered, teacher collaboration. So our teachers should also be trained on how to take good care of our children in school to make learning effective. Teacher-student motivation, as we motivate the teachers, we also motivate the students, but the students deserve more well. Sound school management practices, democratic sense into the students. Instead, we talk sense into them. Government and community-led strategy, stakeholder approach in infrastructural development. One kaka jopinye munengo wa ger skunde wa. If we don't build them, let us not wait for the government, let us do it ourselves. Increased investment towards mental health for learners. Let us not just pump knowledge into these children, but let us also care about their mental well-being. Invest in physical activities and also government and community strategies. In as much as we have our own strategies, but the government also has its bit. Stakeholders approach to school infrastructure development, increased investment towards mental learning, invest in physical activities, enhance teacher training and capacity building programs, expand access to education in undeserved communities. Undeserved community here includes our Luo community. We are out of the time when we were considered to be the elite in Kenya. We are below the rest now, and we have to find ways of coming up. Teachers, once trained, should enhance their teaching ability through in-service and other courses that will help them. This is the most important part of my presentation, the place of mathematics and science subjects. Essential and diverse fields such as medicine, engineering, and computer science require proper performance in maths and science subjects. When students perform well in maths and science subjects, they can go to the TVETs for programs such as mechanics, carpentry, and electricity, which require knowledge in algebra. A carpenter who does not know much about angles will not be able to make a good table or a good cupboard. Access to advanced studies opens doors to university programs in the STEM field. STEM stands for science, technology, and engineering, and maths. Critical thinking, sorry, just get back. Critical thinking, as we talk of it more in CBC, children should be trained to be logical, reasoning people, critical analysis of problems, data interpretation skills. Not people who just wrote learn, but people who think and apply their thinking ability in whatever they do. In conclusion, Nyanza was a beacon of academic excellence in the 70s and 80s. Schools such as St. Mary's Yala, Maseno School, Asumbi Girls, Moi Nyabohanse, Homa Bay High School, Kisii School produced mean scores, great mean scores in national exams. Graduates from those schools occupied prominent positions in the civil service and private sector. There was focus on science, medicine, and mathematics, resulting in production of many scholars in STEM discipline. So where did the rain start beating us, and what can we do about it so that we can get back to that glory of Nyanza, and more so Luo Nyanza being the hub of academic excellence? Notable scholars from the Lake region, we had Professor Odhiambo, who was the founder of ISIPE, Professor Callistus Juma, a scholar on innovation and technology, Dr. Joseph Odhiambo, who was a mathematician and computational science researcher, Professor Bethwel Ogot and Professor E.S. Atieno Odhiambo, who are celebrated historians, Dr. Margaret Ogola, a medical doctor who was also an award-winning author. Medical doctor being in literature, it's a rare occurrence that could only be found in Luoland. Can we hope that our children will also get there? Lake region as a hub for research, medical research, we have KEMRI, Kenya Medical Research Institute, focus on medicine, malaria, HIV, and AIDS in Otonglo in Kisumu. Agriculture research, research in agriculture, climate change, adaptation, and agribusiness. Jaramogi Oginga Odinga University of Science and Technology, used as a center of research in fisheries and environmental research. Startup and ICT training centers in Homa Bay, Kisumu, and Siaya. So let us not cry so much. Let us try and develop these institutions so that we can compete favorably in the map of our country. Conclusion, students' academic performance is a collective responsibility between parents, teachers, the community, the society at large, and the government. The input of students, teachers, schools, parents, community, and government are critical. The principal plays a pivotal role in setting the tone of academic excellence. Frantz Fanon famously said, every generation from relative obscurity must discover its mission and either achieve it or betray it. The onus is on us, education sector players, to achieve the mission of our generation. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We can a round of clap for Madam Benta. So I think quickly before she leaves, I just want two people only who have questions that you feel are somebody who is leading a national school in the region, somebody who has been a practicing secondary school teacher. Benta for the last 30 years now. Yeah. She's been teaching for the last 31 years in secondary schools around here, around Nyanza. Any specific questions for her before she leaves? Just two, and then we go back to the panel. Any specific, something that you feel secondary schools need to address, or we need to hear from secondary principals or secondary school teachers? She will be held by...
I want to thank you very much for the wonderful presentation, Madam Ayako from Yabo Hanse. Like I said, I'm from Kenya Medical Training College, and for us, we take cognizance of the issue that you have pressed premiums on, and that is the place of science and mathematics in a future progression for the careers that call for that. I want to say that at Kenya Medical Training College, we have pressed our emphasis on this performance. And most of the applicants who are applying for our courses right now, for our next intake, which is in March 2025, what we are beginning to discover is that there are issues with the clusters that we require. And that actually is about the same areas you're talking about. So what we are saying is that we have those opportunities, yes, as an alternative to those who have not made the cutoff points for university, the C and the below. However, the issue of those clusters are affected by these subjects. So what is really being done at that level before they transit to the level where we can absorb them? Thank you very much.
We have just one question.
I'm Leonard Dayora, Rachonyo KMTC. Specifically, when you're looking at clinical medicine, maths is not an option. maths, and of course biology.
Okay, thank you very much. I have a very big concern from what Osiel just said. We have our students, and each and every person, especially the parents, they are really concerned about the education of their children. But we are learning that even from the analysis that you have, the result that is being posted is not the genuine one. What are you doing to make sure that if it is a D or a D plus or a C plus, and I believe those with C plus, they qualify and they can do better if they get a genuine C, C plus. But there is a problem where most of the students are getting above C plus, but when they go for those courses, they don't complete them. So it is a very serious, that should be a very serious problem that should be addressed.
The last three, just one question each.
Thank you very much. My question goes to mostly the head teachers or principal of secondaries that are here. I'm a parents representative, and there's been a problem. The Form 1s that transited last year, and now this year they're in Form 2. We find that most of them, since CBC was coming, but we didn't want our children to remain in CBC, we decided to skip them from grade 6 to grade 8 to do the exams. So in most schools they are complaining. I have my daughter in Uganda. And last week we were in school for a meeting, and I heard the principal complaining that those students who were skipped, they are performing dismally. And they were given the chance by the government to attend such schools. What are the principals doing so that those students be at par with the others? Thank you.
I'm Gladys from Kewota. First of all, I want to appreciate the principal for being just one lady in the university with 14 others. Thank you. You are lifting our heads up. My question goes to you, Madam Principal. If you check the results, the KCPE results and KCSE results, we find that when the learners are in primary schools, they perform well, and when they go to secondary schools, then they now decide to perform dismally. Please, Madam Principal, can you just tell us what happens when these learners reach secondary school?
Okay. I think partly the reason why we are here is that we are seeing fewer Onyango, Otieno, Ouma, Achieng, Kinyi in the university graduation booklets. That's the reasons why here. So I just wondering from the numbers you've given us and from where you sit, could it be that even the few that are being produced, maybe they still don't come from these counties? Maybe they are people who are from other counties, especially for the national schools. So that means that the situation is bad.
You are right, because most of Joluo Manie good courses universities Gisomo in other counties, I think. They come from other counties or national schools. But I think I'll ask Madam Benta, respond quickly to what you can.
Thank you. There is the issue of the cluster, and the cluster being based more so on mathematics, and I would add on chemistry, subjects in which our children perform dismally. I want to say that the ability of our children are very diverse, and we cannot force all of them to qualify to go to the university or for these science courses. However, just as we have mentioned before, these people can still join these institutions, but through then end up taking the science courses at another level. There is also the issue of bridging. If they are sure that indeed they can do well in this maths, only maybe something could have happened so that they didn't do well at KCSE, they can bridge the maths and still get courses. About students who skipped grade 6 to grade 8. This is a mistake that parents made, and it cannot be corrected by the principal. If you made a mistake, be ready to bear the burden of your misbehavior. If your daughter was supposed to go through the CBC, just let her go through the CBC. If your son had 2 years to get to high school, it would be good enough for you to just let them go through the system. There is nothing that a principal can do to make up for those 2 years that they wasted. They lost. Something else is about students doing so well in KCPE and poorly in KCSE. KCSE has no bearing on KCPE performance because one, we all know that at KCPE there is the multiple choice. So if students are well trained on elimination method and they eliminate and get the right answers, they could even guess. This one, let me just put B. When they come to high school, they have to read and they have to produce their answers in prose. So they cannot do, maybe if they were trained in primary how to answer the multiple choice question, they cannot be able to do as well in secondary school. Another issue is at primary school, most schools are day schools. So the children come from school and go back to their parents on daily basis. They have the parental guidance, they have the direction given by parents, and of course, better nutrition. It's only in a few schools like Moi Nyabohanse where we give them better meals than what you give them at home. Only in the national schools, and that is why in national schools you pay more money. The diet in all national schools is balanced, and they have to take a balanced diet, very good meals every day. So such a child comes to secondary school, the one from the village, the local village, and he gets to school. During our times, you would get to school, and the school is the best place you'll ever be. That's the first time you're sleeping on a mattress. Possibly, if you were lucky enough, you had some rubber shoes, but that is the first place where we were putting on leather shoes. So we considered the school as a reverent place, a good place to be. Today, our homes are more comfortable than school. So the child comes to school and imagine he's in prison. How do you expect such a child to do well? Somebody has asked about the university graduation list bearing very few of A's and O's. One, that is why we are here, so that we find out where the rain started beating us, and we can reclaim those A's and O's on the university graduation list. Two, there are so many of these A's and O's, the Luos, who do not want to identify as such, to be identified as such. So we become Stacy Ann Alice, Agri Eugene John. So you get such names on the graduation list, you'll never know whether they are A or O, but that is no excuse. The truth is, we are not doing well. We need to find a way to get back to where we were. Thank you. If there is anything that I've left out, possibly somebody can respond.
Before she leaves, because I want to invite you and...
Thank you so much, Madam, for your presentation. I also had an issue to do with cluster. Our students are taking their KCSE. The only thing they understand is a grade, C+ and above. How well equipped are our schools in terms of telling them about cluster points, the subjects they require for which course? How well is this Department of Career Department equipped in our schools?
In the past, we had a very powerful careers department. But presently, it's like everybody is concerned with producing these A's and B's. So that you find that the teachers in charge of careers only train these students on how to get A's and B's, but not what comes after that. However, in a few schools, I'd like to mention St. Barnabas Girls, where his daughter is. He brought me his daughter when I was at St. Barnabas. We have a careers week. During the careers week, and I'm bringing the same to Moi Nyabohanse, if you have children, bring them there, they will benefit. During the careers week, we have a whole 5 days where we invite people from different universities and different tertiary institutions, the diploma colleges and even the certificate colleges, just to come. We prepare a program, they talk to the children and tell them what is expected of them to get to those courses. So you find that from as early as Form 1, a child identifies. Some of them are so specific, even to the university where they want to go and what they want to learn. So from the word go, they begin preparing for that course, and it helps them a lot. But at school level, unless the principal gets out, that is why I mentioned the principal as a central person to set the pace and the mood for things to move in the school. So when the principal comes out and organizes such fora, then students benefit very well, and at the end of it, they choose the right career.
Thank you. Just on the same last point about principals. Now that we are talking as TWAC, and you are the only principal that is here. Oh, okay. Okay. So I would like to make a special appeal to you and your colleagues that you should take it personally to go beyond the call of duty and help our kids, our students in our specific schools. They should be advised. Like Prof has said, that's the missing link. We are focused more on the mean grade, not subject performance. And so our students graduate with good mean grades, but without subject performance that can take them to courses that they desire.
I think that is just homework. It's a challenge that you can be able to help us pursue. I think we can thank Madam Principal. Another round of applause. Thank you so much. We appreciate your time. The issues you've discussed with us. I think Churchill and his colleagues will contact you for follow-ups, particularly how, I think what we can do is how we can engage with the principals to be able to prepare these young people for these courses we are talking about. Yeah, thank you so much. Maybe, Churchill, if you have any further briefing, you can see Madam Principal off as we continue. I'll invite Daktari. Daktari, we were giving you 10 minutes, but now that we are running late, I want to ask if you can take 7. And then we do another 7 with Kanyadode. And I hope we'll manage.
Thank you so much. My presentation is brief. It is on what is there, empowering the future, looking at the economic trends in Kenya. Yeah, looking at the economic trends and the position of education in terms of workforce in the 21st century. As mentioned, my name is Nelson Obange. I feel like I'm in the right place. I'm in the right place because, one, I've got an experience of teaching at high school. I taught in Maseno School for many years. I also got a chance to teach in technical training, Mawego Technical by then, and now it's a national polytechnic. And then finally, I got the opportunity now to teach at the university. So it gives me the platform to talk about matters education and matters employment. Let me make this fast so that... Now, if you look at this picture, and this is Kenya. This is Kenya in 21st century. This is Kenya, Konza Techno City. This is what we are dreaming about in this country. Kenya. So my presentation, looking at economic trends and the 21st century workforce, is to think about the direction Kenya is thinking in the 21st century. So we need to think about education and strategies to make sure that we are able to join the global economy. Now I want to give you the picture that Kenya's economy is characterized by these 4 main dichotomies of sectors, formal and informal. Then we have the public and private. I may find out from our audience today, how many of us are from the formal sector? By show of hand. If you are from the formal sector. How many of us are from the informal sector? You happen to come from Juakali industry. None, huh? How many of us are from public sector? Public sector. And any one of us from the private? So this is the challenge I want to put to you. We are seated here discussing the future of our children, whom we expect to join the formal or informal sector, the public or the private sector, but some members of these sectors are not here. You find a gap? That's a big gap. If we are to have a forum that is going to discuss employment, education, these sectors must all be presented. Now, understanding how our children are getting into these sectors require us to understand how we contextualize education. I want to give you a snapshot. A survey was carried out in 2023 in terms of formal and informal sector. The informal sector employed 83.5%. That is in the job market. And the formal sector absorbed 16.5%. Looking at public and private, the private sector employed 70%, 70.5%. And the balance of about 19.5% was absorbed by the public sector. So we realized that we are getting our jobs for our children in the informal sector largely and the private sector. But do you know who is discussing about employment? The public sector. I want to emphasize the gap that we need to invite private sector and the informal sector on board if we are going to talk about 21st century employment. Now, this is a picture of what is happening. That a survey in 2023 has revealed that technology and IT is taking lead in terms of employment, and roles such as the software engineering, computer science, data analysis, and cybersecurity are on the lead of absorbing graduates and TVET experts. Why? The digital sector. And the other sectors which are also alongside that, we have the healthcare, the business field, and agriculture. Now, let's look at some of these issues to consider when you are really thinking of youth who is actually trained and suitable for employment. One, there is growing tech ecosystem. If our graduates are not techno-savvy, then there is a lower chance of employment. The issue of mobile penetration in our economy is creating more opportunities for employment, and we need to think about that. There is digital transformation across industries, that companies across various industries are adopting digital solutions, and they are looking for talent. So when you are thinking of a course at the university, when you are thinking of a course at the TVET, do you have aspect of digital talent? because that is what the industry is looking for. So as we are going with our TWAC network, we should be thinking of how do we inculcate this into our youth. I've also talked of skills development. We are looking for, the industry is looking for people who are able to upskill, because technology is changing every day. We are not going to train a medic who might not be able to respond to medical issues in 30 or 20 years' time. There is the element of entrepreneurship. I would want to emphasize this in our careers. Any training that somebody is supposed to do for 21st century should have element of entrepreneurship. You should be able to look at it like, can I transform this career into a job of my own, created by my own and able to employ others? If a career or training is not going to have the avenues to open entrepreneurship, then that is a big problem. Thank you. Then there should be access to multiple education for the career in the 21st century. A snapshot. These are some of the fields and career which have attracted the highest employment currently. And if you look at it, they have the element of IT. So I would want to emphasize, like my early presenter said, the STEM education is very important. Let us develop positive attitude towards our vocational training institutions, technical training institutions, and our polytechnics. Then let us look into ways of entrenching entrepreneurship in any program. Or if we cannot, then let us try to create an aspect of, like we have postgraduate diploma in entrepreneurship. You can create a diploma certificate, a certificate in entrepreneurship. That would equip our young people with the necessary skills to thrive and take advantage of the 21st century job industry. Ladies and gentlemen, I would want us to admire that picture. When we are talking of digital literacy, do you appreciate that as digital literacy? Do you think that element as digital literacy? I leave that for the network discussion. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Daktari erokamano ahinya. Gik moko ariyo mameja makawo from Daktari. Ni kwang'iyo landscape mar tich, the future of work. Twang'i public, private, informal, and formal. Then 3 or 4 main causes kuma piny odhiye, led by technology. Sama discuss gi nyathi about career, mage monego bed ni waparo. One en technology. Mar ariyo aneno ka owacho business. Adek makawo en agriculture. Agriculture mwachayo ni. Nyithindo dwa ringo dhi Nairobi to welowo ka. Agriculture is emerging. I think we even found it when we were talking in Seattle last year. Agriculture is emerging around the world as a very top area. Monego wa encourage nyithindo to kawe. Kaka itime mabiro pogre. Then lastly, engineering. Science and engineering. Then chorus entrepreneurship, Daktari encourages ni mondo bet something running across. So what have you picked from Daktari? I'll open it up shortly. But before I open it up to ask questions or comment, I want to invite Cosmas Kanyadodi to talk to us about placement and options. From his experience as somebody who deals with placement of students at university level and maybe colleges, he will talk to us about what we need to do as a region.
Okay, thank you very much, Mwalimu Andiwo Obondo. Good afternoon. Churchill will forgive me for being critical a bit to all of us. If we started earlier, as scheduled, we wouldn't be pressed for time. We wouldn't be rushing. If we started on time, we would have listened more to his presentation, which is quite crucial for us. And if you also did well, Mwalimu Andiwo Obondo, then my presentation should have come before his, because then we are preparing placement and then getting into the job opportunities. Because of time, you will forgive me. I will not go line by line according to my presentation. I will try to just talk about placement into universities and tertiary institutions, and the presentation is there. We can make reference to it. Fast forward, and I'll talk about the challenges that we face in placement, one of which I already raised with the principal, the chief principal, who made a presentation earlier on. The challenge that we have, and especially those of us from this region, Luos, is that we start preparing students or children for career when the results are released. So we start talking about career options, Chiengma KCSE results were released. At that time, there is really nothing you can do. Osebedo plastic, so there is very little room for maneuverability. Currently, we have, I think, 90 universities in the country, 30 public, 30 private chartered, and 30 universities with letters of interim authority. And then TVET institutions, both private and public, are about 1,300, no, 2,300, 2,800 and 2,287, I think so, about 23. Over 1,000 of them are in Nairobi and Kiambu County, over 1,000. So about 1,100 are in Kiambu and Nairobi. So that means that the remaining 1,200 are spread across the country. Now, in Nyanza, Homa Bay County has Tomboya University, Muantirene, Dimawego Polytechnic, and a host of other small TVCs, like Sero, Kabuach, Kumia, Emilio Nyagida, Legodo, Sikri, Makumatinda Tendo. But you go to Kisumu, they have two universities, Maseno and Great Lakes. Then there is Kisumu Polytechnic, and also other TTIs, Matendo Tendo. Like there is one in Awach, in Seme. I think there is also another one in Ahero. If you go to Siaya, you have Jaramogi, Oginga Odinga University of Science and Technology, where a university with two important titles in their names, in its name, Science and Technology, but graduates more degrees in humanities. Yes, a contradiction. And then you have Bondo TTI, and then there's Bondo TTC, and Siaya Institute of Science and Technology. In Kisumu, there is also Ramogi, Institute of Science and Technology. Then when you go to Migori, you have Rongo University and Siala. Then you have Migori TTC. Now, that is the spread of higher institutions of learning in Nyanza. Those are about less than 20 institutions. If you compare with what is within the other counties of the country, then you can see how much disadvantaged we are. Then you compound the matter by starting career information or discussion at the end of Form 4. So ideally, when should we start issues of career discussion? In Form 1, ideally. Because then you can identify the potential of the student and then channel their potential and capabilities towards the right career path that they would like to pursue. And how many strands of career paths do we have? I think there are 5. The first one is in humanities, which people don't like much because people think that there is no job opportunities there. Then we have those in engineering and technology. And then we have the other ones in sciences, the hard sciences. And then we have a vocational. And then we have the arts. The arts is where you have talent as a core component or requirement for career growth. Arts kama kutingo music, performing, drama, things that you just need to have talent and also education. If you want to go to the engineering and technology area, primarily you need mathematics and physics. If you want to go to the life sciences, you need biology and chemistry. Other than you need mathematics. To go to the life sciences, you need biology and chemistry. To branch into humanities, you are better off with the languages and humanities like history, geography, and the likes. So, Nyithindo Winjoro Bednibedo shown this in good time. But what do we have in our high school? Of course, primary, people don't even talk about the career paths. But in high school, we are focused more. And this was the bigger challenge or the bigger disadvantage of 844. Focused more on the mean grade, both for the school and for the student. And like the chief principal said, the student is happier with an A- without considering the specific subject performance for this, the respective careers. So one Jok University, and you, the dean there can confirm to you, parents will come to you, Nyathina onwango B+ or you do B. Tita murini yokote engineering, to nyathinga neto onwango C+ to kete engineering. Ungi nepotism. Sechego, to she does not know or he does not know, Nyathin did not do physics. And once you don't do tech physics, you are automatically locked out of engineering and technology courses. You don't perform well in mathematics, you are, somebody talked about mathematics there. You don't perform well if you get below C in mathematics, you can be sure you are locked out of about 60% of courses that are available in both tertiary and university. So these are the things that we need to share. And teachers need to come out clearly and help Nyithindo. There is no reason why Nyathi you do A- and yet Kuro Konyan wango course moto because this cluster subject, ikumuloni cluster subject, okdonji, engi sika, engi A koni, engi B+ kacha, to gingik mokre ure. Kuro, because C+ tindetero everybody university, ibi miye course moto mangoa, modo. Kati wacho ni, serikal discriminate against Juluo. The second thing, Nyathino you do A-, yes, talking you the content, mag the specific subjects. Odi ye regi courses madongo dongo, kargyang wengo. Because you record the first application, and you or miss out. Or doc a second revision. Some call the second revision ni, odi makao mudo, and COOPs will say, will place on their portal. These are now the only available courses. So let us start this thing much, much earlier. Preferably, those of you who are interested in the education, both alumni, teachers, those of us managerial boards of management. In Form 1, please start talking about career. CBC is trying to railroad Nyithindo Sani, Maber. But again, challenge mantigi CBC and ma. High school or milungo ni senior school. Otamore embrace. The university in Tireka. Umbu se discuss CBC. There is no university must discuss CBC. Meanwhile, Winjiro Berni, which year Winjiro Berni don't university. No, next year get on senior school. 3 years from now, they're getting into university. Yet, no university. Have you discussed CBC in Polytechnic? Dean, have you discussed CBC in Polytechnic? Not yet. Yeah. At some level. Yeah, at some level. So, that is where the challenge is. So, please, Yuthurwa. Okay, Yuthurwa. How do we take advantage? We have suffered because of lack of information previously. Ngato wachoni koth ni chako gowa karango. Wawere gi kuma na chako gowa. Wangeni koth goyowa. Ogoyowa sani donge. So let us manya umbrellas waumuru utewa by providing the right information. If other schools, if other people are not taking advantage of CBC, can we do what we have to do and be well prepared so that by the time Manyithindwa are supposed to go to tertiary and university institutions, they are well prepared. And let us change our tact. Otherwise, certain to wechengeng.
Erokamano. Aparo ni wabro yudo caucus mar universities Tom Mboya ang'eni Churchill professor nyalo miyo wa ng'ato mondo koro from here wang'e maber ni wan gi Maseno gi Tom Mboya. To jowa man malo kaka Nyarudi man Tuka bende koro wakelo piny ka to support jogi mondo wachaka caucus moro how we can improve our universities. Jowa manie Polytechnic bende apan kwa ka part of my recommendation ni gibed gi caucus gi. How do we improve and what support do you want from some of us? Kanyarbe wacho gimoro kama very important.
Nikech courses mwawantiere godo universities wagi are not appealing to our students. Professor Mo Ochola no uwe and Ndiobe no uwe. Can we try to encourage nyithindwa mondo or register courses magin godo interested to are available locally so that we reduce the cost of education in universities?
Yeah, thank you. Challenge maduong' Kanyarude wacho en waloso wachako wacho wach career. Kanyathi okelo ni results Madam Gladys. Kore ko penji ni mama atimo ang'o. Sami timo ang'ono to kup sosechako pange malo kucha. Talk early. Umiya wa status mag colleges man around. Umiya wa career paths. Umiya wa priority subjects. Then I think lastly mawacho maduong' ahinya and wa focus on mini grade. To focus on subjects manyamiyo nyithiwa gi courses mabeyo. Challenge to schools and parents. 10 minutes only. You either responding to the two, now the panelists, you can also ask something about what I shared, or you share with us something that is important. We are going to do one round of take around. Sana sana dwa target joma poko wuoyo. Joma poko wuoyo mada target. We are just doing one session. You can respond to whatever was presented here. You can also raise any of your issues, any new issues, bring out any new issues. Danish has given me 5 minutes, but I want to plead with him. We start. Let me see those who want to be in the first round, so that we take the first round, number 1, then anybody else, number 2, number 3, number 4. Let's pick the first 4 very quickly.
On the issue of entrepreneurship,
yes,
and technical studies, IT, tech.
Yes.
So you find people like us, like we've already done it, we've gone to university, we've studied the system, but now we can't go back again and we are going to do those courses. These small courses, they are being offered. Right now there are so many short courses being offered, which are really good. If you do them, you after finishing the program, you get a chance to get employment. You can even start your own business. That is with the entrepreneurship. And now the only problem is a way of like getting to know about these programs. So there is lack of communication. So that is one of the reasons. Maybe we can talk about that, how you can maybe spread information to youths who have done degrees, who have done masters, but had not done in entrepreneurship or those other skills you are talking about.
Can you talk to the gentleman at the corner?
Thank you. In fact, I just want to echo what the VC said. I came when he was talking, and I was impressed. Gigik manawacho. Uwinjire bene wawuyo gi jonyuolwa. An kaka ya sebedo japuonj for long. Ayudo ka jonyuol mang'eny owere olsgi. We have many absent parents, especially fathers. Koro yudo ka nyithindo ok nyal timo maber kaluwore ni ng'ama nyalo guide gi onge. Omiyo ayie gi gima ne VC owacho, kata ni in our schools jotendwa ok ti gi pesa kata gi resources ma gin go e yo maber. Koro kwanyalo manyo yo monyalo wuoyo go gi our leaders in our various schools mondo gi make good use of resources. Tapani schools in fact the admission one time pesa mane dwaro kuma chieng admission okende tata tiyo. Koro even our teachers from Luoland, they don't consider our resources kaka jonyuol wan. These schools moko machon inya yudo ka ji praise principals mane nitie kanyo by then ni kadok en principal to no gidhi school mana kaka VC ne wacho ka ni ka ichulo pesa nyaka the last day mitime ang'o mar exam. To in our schools, high schools, ibo yudo our parents at all. Apan kaka wan joluo kwadwa mondo mi wagerre to nyaka principals wa jotendwa mag school nyaka bede gi hat moro mar jonyuol gi nyithindo. Chon inya yudo kata ka nyathi marie koriembi to principal kawo time mare mama nyathino maduogi. But sani ena pesa makaterie kod ifo to ka pesa onge to skundi bote manade orumo. Kaka manotero kamane kisatin.
We have two people here, Mawego and then Kupet.
Thank you very much. I just wanted to bring in what we are discussing, but from another angle. Now, the other day, you must have heard of a concept called Kazi Maju. Benuije? Kazi Maju. Maju, that is Kiswahili. Now, we have students here. Of the students, do you have anybody who tried that thing, Kazi Maju? Or I explain it first. Now, Kazi Maju is an arrangement where this current government has made seek for employment outside the country. So we are calling that Kazi, or they are calling it Kazi Maju. Last month, a team came to Mawego National Polytechnic, and this is why I felt we should share this together. Now, when they came, it was a team of potential employers. In fact, the real employers who employ people came to Mawego, and they were going to specific technical training institutions or national polytechnics to recruit people who are going to work. Now, this was specifically for United Arab Emirates and Saudi Arabia. Now, the good thing is that this is not the same as what we have been seeing in media, where people complain of being mistreated once they go for employment outside the country. No. This is because this is an inter-country arrangement. So when they came, they would look for people who are skilled. And here there was no favoritism. If you're saying you are a builder, they came for builders, they came for people who've done electrical, They even came for people who could do gardening, landscaping, those skills, small skills. And they were offering very good salaries. The good thing with them is that they were signing. They were signing contracts on the spot, and it worked. Within 10 days, some of our trainees who had completed had gone. And right now, even one of them has sent to me his status report on processing what he calls, he's going to United Arab Emirates. We encourage, think of your home area. If you just have 10 people who are earning dollars, going no nyalo chalonad, kaponi from the other side they remit, they develop your places. You will see that place really developed. So we start by giving you the skills which we are offering in our technical training institutions or our national polytechnics, and then they are capable of getting such jobs. The second thing, our youth should register their businesses. For those who are embracing entrepreneurship, KCB came up with a program in Siaya, and they were going to specific wards looking for youths who have businesses that they can support. Our youths don't have businesses. For those who have businesses, they have not registered them. For those who have registered the businesses, they don't even have records. So you find there's a big gap on how we can assist our youths. So I felt we should also add that. I've distributed brochures from Awego on trade and specific engineering training that we offer. We have everything in that brochure, including entry requirements. With those few remarks, I thank you very much. I'm pressed for time.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that. I think we will have the Kupet quickly, and then we round up, we wind up.
Thank you. Ahija Fred. I want to make a few contributions. Now, I would say that the meeting or the gathering today is come at the right time. Based on last year's KCSE performance, we have been taken through those C+ and above that are making it to the university. However, the truth is the performance last year in sciences and maths, most of sciences is wanting. We may have so many that we are making a statement are going to university. But as one Dr. Odanga once said, that a university should be where you are going for a course with one name: law, education, etc. But the moment you're going for courses with so many names, then my people, we are headed nowhere. And it is a fact that this year's placement is going to see our boys and girls in those courses with many names. I happen to have been a form principal of a Form 4 class, and I'm talking from experience, the reality. They have very good performance, but no placement. Solution to this, NEC has opted for something called bridging this year, as much as it is still in court. But whatever the ruling, let us get set. For those our sons and daughters that didn't get it right in sciences, this bridging in July, let them register. Let them register for placement in COOPS, I think in September. That is one solution to it. And this bridging is not only tied to last year's lot, because we are facing 844 system, It has been extended, I think, up to the year 2000 or something like that. Let us take advantage of this. Number two, I've been moved by the professors, the VC's statements. And I want to call upon all of us to change the attitude. And I want to plead with the major player in the education sector called the parents. Much of the pressure we have in school is courtesy of the parents. I would want my daughter university. So the thing that is in the child's mind is I should go to university. This now brings in this idea of people passing without a need or a reason why they are doing it. Parents, I want to plead with you, because teachers are just but victims here. Your daughter is in my school and you want her to pass. So I will make effort to ensure that she passes. But are you telling your daughter or son on what she should invest